CBS News exclusive report. Inside a free Kuwait City, Iraqi soldiers surrendering by the tens of thousands, and the noose is tightened on Saddam's encircled army. This is the CBS Evening News. Dan Rather reporting live from Saudi Arabia with a special War Update edition. Good evening. Saddam Hussein's best troops, his Republican Guard, is encircled in the desert night. It's in the process of being annihilated if it doesn't surrender. With his army collapsing and his guards caught in an ever-tightening vice, Saddam himself tried today to declare victory and beat it out of Kuwait. President Bush called that, quote, an outrage, and said the war will go on with undiminished intensity. Tonight, Kuwait City is free, and Allied forces are driving on.
The Iraqi army is in full retreat.
There are areas of resistance, but many of those who weren't retreating were giving up. Allied commanders said the prisoners came in so fast they couldn't even count them. The latest estimate, 30,000 plus. Nearly half the Iraqi army is considered out of action now. Allied forces tightened their noose with a series of swift encircling movements that stretched nearly 300 miles across the desert battlefield. From the west, an American airborne brigade, the 82nd, leapfrogged to the Euphrates River. Their mission, block the escape of the Republican Guard northward. To the east, the main U.S. Army's armored force, the giant 7th Corps, and British armored units are engaging the Iraqi Republican Guard. In southern Kuwait, the Pan-Arab Force, along with U.S. soldiers and Marines, are driving northward. And finally, U.S. Marines, Saudis, and Kuwaitis drove up the coast road to Kuwait City.
The war is not over, and we're going to continue to attack and attack and attack.
45 miles from the Kuwaiti capital, Saudi gunners opened up when Iraqis dug in along the coastal road, clearing the way for a convoy of Arab forces and U.S. Marines to barrel north into Kuwait City itself and beyond. CBS News reporter Bob McEwen first told the world today that Kuwait City was free in a dramatic live broadcast as he rode with the first Allied troops, including U.S. Marines, into the capital. Tonight, McEwen was with the Marines as they secured the U.S. Embassy, which had been abandoned under siege last December. He's with us now live from Kuwait City. Bob?
Dan, as you've said, there is a handful of U.S. Marines in the U.S. Embassy here in Kuwait City tonight. The other Allied forces are just outside the city, prepared to come in at dawn or shortly thereafter to officially liberate the Kuwaiti capital. But as we discovered when we arrived late this afternoon, that liberation, in fact, may have taken place at midnight last night, when after 7 months of occupation, Iraqi forces simply got up and left. As we drove down the Fahil freeway into Kuwait City, people in their backyards waving at us, people driving their cars, shaking their fist and showing the V for Victory sign, and everywhere the Kuwaiti flag flying again. Driving along the almost deserted highway that leads to Kuwait City, past burning oil wells and burned out tanks, there was a sense of disbelief that we had left the war behind and might actually be able to drive right into the capital. Along the road closer to town, jubilant Kuwaitis waved to us, waved the flag, and waved the weapons left behind by fleeing Iraqi troops.
The Iraqis ran away, they left everything. They left the machine guns, they left everything.
Inside Kuwait City, there was a sense of the suffering this nation has endured.
Never you saw such thing. Just these soldiers came to Kuwait, destroy everything you saw, destroy the men here.
Empty streets, damaged buildings, no electricity, no water, and for the time being at least, no law. But there was no shortage of joy that things soon might change, and no shortage of stories about the occupation by Iraq.
If you go to see the children, 8 years, 9 years, they hang them, they shoot them, because he writes something about Saddam.
There is no doubt that the Allies are going to come in at dawn, but there are no celebrations in the streets of Kuwait City tonight, because we have reports of fierce fighting between U.S. Marines and Iraqi troops out near the Kuwait City airport. The real thing, as one Marine put it to us. Dan.
And a late report from other sources that Marines are engaged in a fierce fight west of Kuwait City. More than 30,000 Iraqi prisoners of war, too many to count, said one officer, but each face tells a story of suffering, of exhaustion, of relief, of war. Richard Threlkel was with Egyptian troops inside Kuwait when hundreds of Iraqis called it quits.
They emerge from the desert mist like ghosts ahead of the lead elements of Egyptian armor, first a few and then whole platoons. Iraq's frontline soldiers coming out of their trenches and surrendering without even firing a shot. They're surrounded and ordered to kneel at gunpoint. You can see the terror in their eyes. Oh God, they're going to kill us now. And then relief when they realize they will not die, and their cries of salam, salam, peace, peace, will be heard. A moment ago, they were enemies, these Egyptians and these Iraqis. Now, though, when it's over, victor and vanquished together chant Allahu Akbar, God is great. These Iraqis would rather surrender to the Egyptians than to the American army. The Americans treat their prisoners well, of course, but the Iraqis don't know that. And the Egyptians are, after all, fellow Arabs, fellow Muslims. It's a drama that's been played out day and night, over and over again, all along the Egyptian advance. This one battalion alone has picked up more than 1,000 prisoners. Why do they surrender? Because they say they are tired of war, tired of the American bombs, and because they're desperately hungry and thirsty. Their officers deserted them, they say, the moment the Allied attack began. And it's apparent just how hungry and tired and dispirited they are. For most, this is the first food and drink they've had in days. They're told they'll be well treated, fed and clothed and cared for, until, no doubt, in a not too distant future, they'll be sent home to an Iraqi nation just as destitute as these soldiers. But the weapons they carried will not go with them. And at last it sinks in. They really have finally survived this war. They really are going to live. A moment that's more than enough to make grown men cry. And even though they were enemies, now they are among family. The Egyptian colonel whispers to the Iraqi prisoner on the ground in pain from a head wound. He comforts him. It is all right, soldier. You are safe now. I, too, am an Arab. I am your brother. Richard Threlkel with the Egyptian army inside Kuwait.
While the fighting is now over for thousands of surrendering Iraqis, the war itself is not over, will not be over, until Saddam's best, his Republican guards, put down their weapons, put up their hands, or are annihilated. More about that now from correspondent David Martin at the Pentagon. David?
Dan, under cover of darkness and in a driving rain, within the past few hours, 3 U.S. Army divisions have attacked 2 Republican Guards divisions. One of the Guards divisions has been defeated, and the battle with the other is still going on. In addition, Apache helicopters have attacked a 3rd Iraqi division, this one a tank division, inside Kuwait. And troops from the 18th Airborne Corps, those are the ones that drove far west up to the Euphrates River Valley. They have captured an entire Iraqi convoy that included 50 of their latest T-72 tanks that were trying to escape back to the safety of northern Iraq. As the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff put it, Saddam didn't move his army, so now he's going to lose it. The only question is, how much more fighting will it take?
Operation's going well. We're very pleased with progress to date, but as has been noted by the President and other officials today, it is not yet over, so it'll continue till it is over.
A senior administration official says it's not over until Saddam's Republican Guards are disarmed, either by force or by surrender.
They are confused with regard to what the threat is on the left or the right or the front or the back.
If they stand and fight, they'll be overrun by tanks. If they come out and fight, they'll be mowed down by aircraft.
We've been looking for tanks since the war started, and yesterday we found a bunch. We had the right weapons, and we had the opportunity to take care of a bunch of them.
And with all the bridges down, the only way Iraqi soldiers are going to get across the rivers, one official said, is wade across. But any satisfaction over the plight of the Iraqi army has to be tempered by the destruction left in their wake. 600 oil fires, which blacked out this satellite photo of Kuwait City, and which will take weeks, even months, to put out.
Vast majority of the fires were caused by Iraqi forces. Not only do we have physical evidence, but we have captured documents now that indicates that their instructions were to destroy the oil fields. Two instructions: inflict maximum casualties, and as a part of that also to destroy the oil fields.
Dan, there is still concern tonight that Saddam's final atrocity against Kuwait will be to launch a chemical weapons attack. An Iraqi officer captured inside Iraq has told the Allies that his unit was ordered to transfer all its chemical weapons to units inside Kuwait. Dan?
Thanks, David. President Bush has ordered American troops and the Allies to pour it on. He called Saddam Hussein's withdrawal offer outrageous. That story and a report from Baghdad when this special edition of the CBS Evening News continues live from Saudi Arabia.
When 1 in 4 adults looks at dairy food, their stomach says stop. Say no now or pay later. Antacids aren't made for this problem, called lactose intolerance. But new Dairy Ease is. It's not an antacid, but a natural nutritional supplement that helps comfortable digestion of ice cream, cheese, and milk. Now enjoy dairy food as naturally as everyone else with pleasant-tasting, chewable new Dairy Ease.
I got a phone call this morning from one of our oldest customers. He fired us. After 20 years, he fired us. Said he didn't know us anymore. I think I know why. We used to do business with a handshake, face to face. Now it's a phone call and a fax. Get back to you later, with another fax probably. Well, folks, some things gotta change. That's why we're gonna set out for a little face-to-face chat with every customer we have.
But Ben, that's gotta be over 200 cities.
I don't care. Thanks.
If you're the kind of business that still believes personal service deserves a lot more than lip service, welcome to United.
Larry. Louis.
That's the way we've been doing business for over 60 years.
Ben, where are you going?
To visit that old friend who fired us this morning.
United. Come fly the friendly skies.
Back to Bob McEwen now, live in Kuwait City for an update. Bob, you mentioned a fierce firefight with the Marines still trying to secure the Kuwait City airport, and we have these reports of the Marines in a furious battle west of Kuwait City. Are you hearing any of that battle? Have you heard any reports in the last few minutes about them?
Not in the past few moments or a few minutes, Dan. We did have a couple of Marines come by and tell us that there was fighting. We have heard various forms of military action. It's hard to tell what is where. But the Marines also told us that there are still pockets of Iraqi resistance here in Kuwait City itself, that there are stragglers and other people who have stayed in the city rather than following the troops out. The best example we have of that is that not more than 20 feet from where we're standing is a series of bunkers. And in one of them, when we went looking, we found a candle still burning. An Iraqi soldier had left that quickly, and we arrived here that shortly after him.
Thanks, Bob McEwen. Mines, snipers, and booby traps in pockets of Iraqi resistance, still problems in now liberated, free Kuwait City. There's word tonight of a big new oil slick spreading in the Persian Gulf. This one is about 55 miles east of the Saudi-Kuwaiti border. Officials in Bahrain say it could last for months and pose the worst ecological threat yet. U.S. pilots found the new slick beneath the dense smoke of Kuwaiti oil fields torched by Iraq. In Washington, President Bush reacted today to Saddam Hussein's latest offer to withdraw from Kuwait by pouring on the scorn and ridicule. White House correspondent Wyatt Andrews has our report.
The president today refused to even consider that Saddam's promise to withdraw might be a sincere signal of peace. He dismissed it as a last-ditch, desperate ruse by Saddam to save his army.
Saddam's most recent speech is an outrage. He is not withdrawing. His defeated forces are retreating. He is trying to claim victory in the midst of a rout. And he is not voluntarily giving up Kuwait.
Despite the fleeting chance that Saddam might be willing to give up, Mr. Bush said he feels an obligation to Allied forces to accept nothing less than unmistakable surrender.
We will not attack unarmed soldiers in retreat. We have no choice but to consider retreating combat units as a threat and respond accordingly. Anything else would risk additional United States and coalition casualties.
Within the coalition, both the French and the British supported the president, with Prime Minister Major urging the destruction of what's left of Iraq's war machine.
I frankly do not believe world public opinion would forgive us if at this stage of the conflict we permitted the Iraqis to withdraw with their weapons.
Mikhail Gorbachev, though, urged an end to the bloodshed and hinted the U.S. relationship might grow fragile because of the war. And angry Senator Bob Dole addressed Gorbachev personally, saying, "Butt out."
You haven't risked a single life or a single ruble in this conflict. Let me tell you, the American people are in no mood for any more Kremlin interference, promoting terms that could well endanger Allied lives.
The president today said for the first time that the war is ahead of schedule, but there is no elation yet at the White House. White House aides say the president is increasingly concerned about the question of prisoners, the several Americans and the thousands of Kuwaitis still being held by Saddam Hussein. Dan?
Wyatt Andrews. Baghdad Radio today rebroadcast Saddam Hussein's order commanding Iraqi troops to leave Kuwait immediately. With an Iraqi censor by her side, correspondent Betsy Aaron filed this report.
They were not surprised to hear Saddam Hussein tell them their army was pulling out of Kuwait. Pulling out, he said, because of special circumstances, because Iraq could not stand against an allied camp of 30 countries. The president's words were broadcast over Baghdad Radio, Saddam portraying the war as a battle between good and evil, claiming the confrontation is not yet over, stating the moral victory is theirs. The speech drew a captive audience in a hotel lobby, in tea houses, and on the street. All day long, Iraqis waited to see whether the United States would stop the war. And then President Bush said Saddam had not delivered enough.
Now it became very clear from his speech that he wanted to destroy all the military utilities of Iraq. And from this point, as Iraqi and as a human being, I'm telling him enough blood, enough.
Late afternoon, the Ministry of Information issued a press release saying that while Iraqi troops are continuing to withdraw from Kuwait, the Allies are continuing to attack them on land and in the air. The Iraqis call those attacks cowardly, committed by cowards who have forgotten their military honor. That said, the withdrawal will continue. Tonight, with Allied bombs and anti-aircraft fire exploding in the background, Baghdad Radio replayed Saddam Hussein's message. And Iraqis are left to wonder, what's next? Betsy Aaron, CBS News, Baghdad.
When we come back, a follow-up on the latest deadly Scud attack and what happened to the Patriot defense system.
You know, you get so much more out of cold mornings when you've got energy. That's why I eat grape nuts. And I found a great new way to make it. Hot. Just pour your grape nut cereal, add milk, and microwave it for 1 minute. You've got this warm, hearty taste that feels so good. And a natural energy source to help keep you going. So, even if it's a cold morning, hot grape nuts helps make it a good one. Try it yourself.
Hot or cold, breakfast with Post Grape Nuts helps keep you going strong all morning long.
The sun is bright and warm, but it's also sweet. The proof? Delicious sun-sweet pitted prunes, made from sweet, luscious, sun-ripened plums. No wonder they're called sun-sweet. Only one prune tastes sun-sweet.
How fast does Dristan nasal spray start working to clear up congestion?
Hey, I didn't expect it to start to work this fast.
Dristan nasal spray starts to work in seconds.
Do you love to exercise? I'm at one of the finest health spas and resorts going. I could enjoy a complete workout, sauna, massage, special Nautica spa diet. It's all right here. But what I really love about this health spa is that it goes everywhere I go. Take a 3, 4, or 7-day fun ship vacation on Carnival, the most popular cruise line in the world.
If you've been to a Vandy basketball game, you've probably seen this boy. Tonight, find out how he became an honorary team member and how he's fighting cancer on Health Beat.
The Scud attack on a converted U.S. Army barracks just a few miles from here in Dhahran, Saudi Arabia, overnight took the lives of 28 American soldiers and left 100 injured. Saddam Hussein's missile also took a piece of the heart of Greensburg, Pennsylvania, and other working family towns in 3 states. The demolished building was home to the 475th Quartermaster Group, a reserve outfit based in Farrell, north of Pittsburgh. Its members come from units throughout western Pennsylvania, Ohio, and West Virginia. Harry Smith was the first reporter to reach the site of that Scud disaster. He tells us tonight that some Americans and others may have put a little too much faith in a defense that is not foolproof.
This is what happens when a Scud makes a direct hit. A steel frame building turned to shambles. The Americans inside never had a chance. Until last night, many people around Saudi Arabia thought themselves virtually Scud-proof. They believed the Patriot missile system was protection enough, but no Patriot was fired to intercept this Scud.
This missile broke apart in flight.
When a Scud breaks apart upon re-entering the atmosphere, the Patriot defense system is faced with an impossible choice. What piece of the Scud debris should the Patriot pursue, the waste or the warhead?
It keys in on a target, and there's no way to control it not keying in on some of the other debris. So it might just as well have hit the warhead, or it might just as well have hit the other debris.
Even if a Scud comes into range intact, the Patriot doesn't always hit the warhead. It may divert the missile, but the warhead can still do considerable damage. Where it ends up is a matter of luck, not skill. The Patriot offers protection, but it's not perfect.
I think there was clearly not complacency. There is an investigation ongoing in Saudi Arabia right now. I don't know what the facts are, so it would be wrong of me to conjecture.
Before last night, though, people in Saudi Arabia thought they were covered. How else to explain dozens of Americans caught in their barracks, not in their bunkers? With the images of last night fresh in everyone's mind, when the Scud alarm went off today, the reaction was serious. Deadly serious. Harry Smith, CBS News, Saudi Arabia.
In a moment, another story, another part of America at war, waiting for a homecoming. So stay here with us.
A1, it's how steak is done.
Somebody put these Harvest Crisps in the wrong box.
Delicious.
Right, so what's a delicious cracker like that doing in a box that says low fat, no cholesterol?
Beats me.
I mean, if Harvest Crisps are so good for you, how come I can't stop eating them?
I don't know, hon.
I love them.
Dodge Caravan Plymouth Voyager. The first minivans are still first.
In most commercials for Choice Hotels International, someone famous pops out of a suitcase. But the star of this commercial is the Choice Yellow Ribbon Fund, created for the American Red Cross. To support our troops and their families, we're donating $5 for every reservation made and used through our special 800 number at a Quality, Comfort, Clarion, Sleep, Roadway, Friendship, or Econo Lodge hotel. The Choice Yellow Ribbon Fund. Call 1-800-4-CHOICE. You'll be doing your part for those who are doing theirs.
How would you cope if you lost your job? Are you prepared for the worst? We'll show you how to deal with the financial and emotional strain of finding yourself out of work. In a Focus 5 report, tonight at 10 on News Channel 5. More news, more experience, more often.
For example, the pride that people of Montana have in those Americans serving in the Gulf. Bob McNamara tells us they want their soldiers back in a big way, but not before the job is done.
Northwest Montana.
It's an area where people have tended to be prairie patriotic.
And for weeks they have prayed.
We pray for our loved ones who are in danger. We pray for a swift end to this war.
For weeks, too, Jim Griggs has printed signs of support for the troops at war.
It started with 700, and it's boomerang. It's still going. Right now, we have 116,000 out.
It has really hit home to a lot of people. We have about 25 soldiers in our little county that are serving over in the Persian Gulf.
All along U.S. Highway 2, in the town's time passed long ago, today's war events ease worries only slightly for a son at war.
Our eyes are glued to the TV most of the time, and if it's not that, we're listening to the radio or shortwave or something to try to find out, something.
If anything might have briefly challenged patriotism, it was the ground war.
Well, I was very scared, but I'm glad it started, so I can get my husband home now.
Here, the only ones in the dark about the war are the arriving Amtrak passengers.
I've been very concerned.
Yeah.
Afraid it would be a bloody mess when they got started, but hopefully they've got it under control.
Still, there's fear of Saddam Hussein.
I believe if they don't do something now, he'll go back with his armaments and we'll end up fighting him again.
I hope they do it right because I don't want my grandchildren over there in 20 years and have to do it again.
In the meantime, under the big sky as elsewhere, hopes now are like early signs of spring, that sons and daughters will be coming back soon too. Bob McNamara, CBS News, Whitlash, Montana.
Just flakes, huh? A little old-fashioned, don't you think? It's too simple. I mean, I know you're going for that good old days thing, but all this makes me think of is the Depression. Now, wait a minute. This doesn't taste old-fashioned. It's good. I like this simple. I like it a lot.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
Taste them again for the first time.
Rough, tight, dry skin? That stops with Curel. When you apply Curel regularly, you'll feel its fast-absorbing rehydration formula take over. First, it seals in the healing moisturizers. Then the soothing Curel therapy rehydrates your dry skin. First it seals, then it heals. There's a clear line between other moisturizing formulas and Curel's rehydration formula. Curel for dry skin. First it seals, then it heals.
Ziploc presents Fingerman.
Hi, I'm here to demonstrate a big new idea. That's right, introducing the new Gripper Zipper from Ziploc. Now the easiest closing bag there is. In fact, I can even close it, whoa, blindfolded. I know it's closing because I can feel the zipper grabbing hold. It's locking. Feel it close the first time, every time. And you don't have to see it to believe it. Ooh. Ziploc bags with the new Gripper Zipper. The easiest closing bag there is.
This is CBS.
Good evening, I'm Vicki Yates.
And I'm Chris Clark. Coming up on News Channel 5, 6 o'clock report, pictures from inside Iraq as the 101st Airborne plays a major role in the ground war.
I'm Tony Aiello, live at Fort Campbell. What could be next for the 101st? I'll have a report.
And see how this young boy fighting cancer has had his dream come true.
We'll have those stories, plus Cracker Barrel is feeling some heat tonight.
News Channel 5, 6 o'clock report is next. Join us.